Hello everybody, Average Gamer here. Welcome to an episode of Let's Talk. In this episode, Clan versus IS in balance. This is not an argument denying it. This is not a video saying how we should fix it or support it. This overall is just a video, in my opinion, as to what's going on with it. This isn't a fix video. This is just my view. So first thing I want to mention is most of the information I'm going to be using is associated with faction warfare. Because in my eyes, that's the most blatant, obvious thing I can do when it comes to numbers and things like that. That just kind of give everything away. There are a couple polls out there where they voted mechs and stuff like that. That is also out there for people to see. The poll ended up being pretty much, about mechs that people use, right? That they think are the powerful. Now, mind you, that becomes, in my eyes, kind of an offset thing because you can't guarantee how we'll say the accuracy of stuff like that. But I'll still mention anyways, although I won't show it. Along the lines, the poll was basically stating that the top 2 to 3 mechs in every weight class, all 4, was pretty much clan. Then usually the 3rd or 4th mech was inner sphere. It happens. You know what? It's the nature of the beast, right? No big deal there. In my eyes, faction warfare really brings it up for a few things. Top units in the game want the top pilots, right? Top pilots want the best mechs. Best mechs right now, which, as you said in the vote, are clan. What does that mean? Well, that means the top 8 of the top 10 pilots right now are all running clan mechs. They're all in clan units. Now, what that means, well, look at the merc units. Top 10 mercs. 3 of them are running at almost a 50% inner sphere to 50% clan when it comes to arrangements. Not bad. One of them is 33%. So for every 1 inner sphere contract that's taken, it's taken 2 clan contracts. Still, weighed heavily towards clan. Then the remainder, so that was 4. That leaves 6 more. The remaining 6 are roughly around 90 to 100% clan. Top units want top pilots. Top pilots want top mechs. So that's where I got kind of that from. The faction screen, top 3 factions are all clan. The 4th one is the FRR. Yay, FRR. One looking at loyalists. Now, loyalists, here's the thing, right? It kind of swaps out a little bit. But the way basically that breaks down is out of the top 10 loyalist pilots, 9 of them are clan. The first loyalist pilot is, as of today, is 7th. Once you get out of the 10th, once you get into like the top 20, it breaks into almost a 60-40 split, which still is weighed heavily towards clan. A couple things you need to know about clan mechs, since I have some. I have many clan mechs. I will actually bring up, there's my favorite mech right there, the Timberwolf. So I won't say I run both. I run both. I love them. So here's all my inner sphere mechs. Here is all my clan mechs. So as you can see, I obviously have more inner sphere ones. That's just the way things have run. But I'm going to be building up my 2017. I'm going to be building up my clan catalog. But what's the big thing about clan mechs? From my own personal experience, clan mechs are faster, can take more hits, can carry a better range of weapons. And that kind of speaks for things, right? I mean, if you can carry more weapons into battle, that means you can do more damage theoretically. So it's the way, nature of the beast, right? If you look at some of the larger units, like the 228, Merc Star, I call them multiple sclerosis, and some of the other units, they prefer clan mechs when you blatantly just ask them about it. Especially for faction warfare, because they find the drop decks way easier. Talk to any of them, the ones that don't actually respond to you. Go on the forums, talk to them, whatever. They'll even mention faction warfare, clan's the easiest when it comes to their drop decks and their designs, because it's easier to pick, right? Clan mechs, you go Timberwolf, Hellbringer, boom, done. What do you want on the Timberwolves? No problem. You can swap out arms, torsos, you name it, you can swap it and get the exact build you want. In our Sphere mechs, on the other hand, since everything's set, it is harder. And I'll even admit, as an IS player for Faction Warfare, I have a hard time trying to come up with good builds for mechs for Faction Warfare to play, right? Now, first off, why is all this happening? Mainly it's BattleTech. BattleTech is the premise of this game, right? That's how it bases everything. And in BattleTech, clan is better than IS. It's the way it is. Now, they're offset. Usually there's less clan mechs playing against more IS mechs and things like that. So, how do we fix balance? I'll tell you now. It's not fixable. It's the nature of the beast. It's the way BattleTech is designed. It's the way the system is designed. You can't really get a 75-ton clan mech to equal a 75-ton Intersphere mech. It ain't going to happen. Somehow, some way, it ain't going to work. Now, what are possible ways to fix this? First and foremost, Intersphere Omnimechs? Maybe. Get a 75-ton, off the top of my head, Thunderbolt or Warhammer. Omnipod Warhammer, Omnipod Thunderbolt. They are out there later in the generation, later in the timeline. There are clan Omnimech or Intersphere Omnimechs. There's the Atlas 2, for example, that always sticks out in my mind. I believe that was an Omnimech. Or I know there was an Atlas Omnimech. There was also an Atlas with jump jets, I might add. Just saying. But Intersphere Omnimechs. Option number 2, the 2 C-Mechs are Intersphere mechs that were modified with clan tech. Couple things in the timeline that need to be addressed. Number 1, the FRR no longer exists, technically, in the future. It became the Razzlehag Dominion. It actually amalgamated with the clan unit. They ran both clan and Intersphere mechs. So, what if you could turn around and say, here's the deal. We're bumping up the timeline in Faction Warfare. Here are all the factions. Here's how the map is going to look. The FRR no longer exists. There's now the Razzlehag Dominion. Every faction is now mech specific. Meaning, if you're running as a loyalist in the FRR, you're allowed to run 2 C-Mechs. Now, there's a couple other things, right? I mean, there has been known in other games and all that stuff, you are able to put on clan mechs onto Intersphere mechs in multiple different games, right? I mean, there's salvage. I mean, salvage is a thing. So, what if you could unlock clan weapons for Faction Warfare only, obviously, for Intersphere mechs? The longer you go up in rank, it unlocks different weapons for you. So at rank 5, it unlocks medium lasers, maybe some SRMs, and then the next stage up, it's streak 6s and whatever, right? Like as you level up, it unlocks clan tech. Now, mind you, to offset, everyone taking a ton of, maxing it the tonnage on their mechs with Intersphere mechs with clan tech. So there's a bit of a penalty, right? You have to have the following module that makes them more compatible. Capture tech. Now, if you read the lore and all that stuff, clan tech was captured. What if you set it up so that, for example, an Intersphere unit is allowed to take a captured clan tech? Now, either in a group deck, limit the amount of clan tech allowed to be taken. Like it's at 80 tons out of the 260, or even it's limited at, say, 80 tons, 75 tons. 75 tons is the max. There you go. So you can't take a Kodiak out, right? But you can take a Timberwolf, a Hellbringer, Sumner, something that could still pack a wall up and take some hits, right? So you run 2 Warhammers, a Rifleman, and a Thunderbolt, or in a Timberwolf. There you go. I mean, there's a bunch of different options. Unfortunately, balance between the two, alas, will not happen. One of the things mentioned to me by one of the guys in my unit is 10 versus 12. Have 10 players versus 12. Simple as that. Have have groups of 10 in clans versus groups of 12 over Inner Sphere. Lock off 2 players, and there you go. Not bad. If you think of it, it would possibly work out. It would have to be tested to see if it would even possibly be fair. Like get like some of the bigger comp units to get together and do 10v12 and just see how it would work. Be like, hey guys, this is what we want to do. We're going to throw it up on the PTS. We want big 12-man, big 12 units, or anybody. 10v12. If you go on the PTS this weekend, you're going to get a reward of the following. Go try it out and tell us what you think. You know, in my eyes, that's one of the things they're going to have to do. Is throw something on, basically throw shit against the wall. Realize that ton for ton, you cannot balance. Mech for mech, you can't balance. But there's different ways in the game that you can modify things to get balance. Now, on quick play, it won't be balanced unless you do X amount. I mean, that will be easy. We got 24 players. Of the 24 players, there's 8 clan mechs that are currently available. We're going to do 4 and 4. Done. Complete. Right there. That's easiest. I just take the tonnage, add it up, divide it by 2. And then throw half and half. Easy, right? But yeah, so, I mean, do some of that stuff. It wouldn't be too bad, right? 2 C-mechs available to Inner Sphere and Clan, obviously. Have Clan, Inner Sphere Omni-mechs. And even throw a bunch of other shit at the wall. Be like, hey guys, we're going to try 10v12. So 10v12 in faction warfare clans versus IS. 10 clan pilots versus 12 Inner Sphere pilots. And just see what happens, right? You never know. It could work. It could be completely horrible, but throw it on the PTS. Try it, right? Different ideas, different experiments. And in the end, I think that's the way they're going to have to balance the game, because ton for ton, it ain't going to happen when it comes to the mechs themselves. See you guys next time. See you in the battlefield. Bye-bye.